Alright guys, here's a quick battle, and I made it surrounding one Pokemon, and it's AbsOUl. If you saw my previous video, I did say I was gonna talk about something, and I'll wait for the end of the video, so if y'all can stick around and listen to that. Alright, so I lead off with Infernape, because he's my lead, and he goes with Galvantula. Not quite sure why. But, I just go Stealth Rock, slightly fearing a possible Volt Switch, which would really hurt me quite a bit. But nothing happens, and he just switches out into his Politoed. And so, I'm going to close combat again. Or, not again. I'm gonna close combat right here. Just to get that neutral effective move. And I expected him to go for a Scald or something. But he goes with Hypnosis. And it has like 60 accuracy if I'm not mistaken. And so, it misses. Hypnosis is not a reliable move at all if you can't tell. But, anyway, I close combat again, and so that's putting me at -2 defense and special defense, but it's not gonna matter, because most things one-hit OHKO it anyway. But he goes down with the, second close combat, and he goes back to his Galvantula, and I Flare Blitz, because just to do it, because it's super effective. But Flare Blitz does make me lose my Sash, so that is kind of a downside. But now he goes into his Ice. And I don't even know what to say. He uses Fake Out, and even with -2 defense, it still doesn't do much. And I'm like, what the heck? How did I survive that? But anyway, he goes with Brick Break. And so I go down, and right here I send out the Make Me OU. It's the AbsOUl. You'll hear more about that at the end of the video. But I go me first, expecting another Brick Break. But he uses Ice Punch. Why would you go with Stab over super effective? Well, anyway, he actually survives the Ice Punch. So I don't even think the kid EV trained this. Like, I don't even know how his attack is so low. It's just ridiculous, honestly. But anyway, I was expecting another Ice Punch, and I just wanted to switch out because me first would have been terrible. Because it is a Scarf set, and that's how it outsped it. But he uses Transform, and I go with Toxic, because everybody loves that toxic damage. And so, really, it's just stall here. I mean, it doesn't last too long, but it does last. And I go with Scald. And honestly, I found something out. When you use Transform, you get the ability also. So I never knew that. I did find that out. So that was something you learn you learn something new every day. But anyway, I Scald again, and then he gets that Cursed Body Hacks. And so I'm kinda screwed and can't take this down since Scald is my only attacking move. But anyway, he uses Recover, and We're just stalling again. And I'm just gonna try to get an acid armor up. And he switches out into his ice again. And, you know, it's just about dead. So I go with acid armor, which ended up kind of benefiting me. Well, of course it benefited me, but I'm actually surprised it did so much. This next move, he goes with Night Slash, and it takes out quite a bit. So I'm not sure what this thing's deal is. That did roughly half, maybe. But anyway, I get Toxic on it. And, you know, I would have scalded if it weren't disabled. But, I mean, we both go down next turn. So, yeah. And he uses Night Slash again. And I die from the Night Slash, he dies from Toxic. And that's how it happened. But I got Curse Body, but it doesn't matter. Alright, and so he goes with his Superior, and I go back to my AbsOUl, and he switches out to go to his Ocean, and I use X Scissor, and OHKO it. I'm pretty sure the crit didn't matter, but I did get a crit because of Super Luck. And so he goes to Milotic. I expected to be able to do quite a bit of damage, because 130 base power and Adamant Nature. So he gets the Scald off, and this thing gives me a really rough time. And it screws with my head the entire match. So I go and I try to Thunderbolt, but he switches to Superior again and takes the Thunderbolt like it's nothing. And some reason I thought it did a lot more. So I just decided to stay in and Ice Beam, expecting it to OHKO that from that much health. But again, still not that much. And so he uses Glare and paralyzes me. But you know, I got that natural cure, so that really helps. And he switches out. I kind of predicted it, but I didn't want to over-predict him. And if I did over-predict, this may have ended... No, it just would have been one more turn. Anyway, I Ice Beam, and that does crap. And so he goes with Scald. It's not gonna do that much, because it's not very effective, and I'm pretty sure he's not meant to sweep, or she's not meant to sweep. But, that does roughly a little more than a quarter, maybe a third. I don't know, I think closer to a quarter. But, yeah. I mean, it's super effective. I mean, there's not much to say why I'm doing something because of the typings and stuff. But, I am going to switch out this churn, maybe? No. Next churn. I should be switching out in a little bit. And like I did say in my previous video, I am gonna try to speed it up, but I'm not on my I don't have access to a computer anytime soon. But right here I switched to my Alakazam, and he uses Recover. And so I expected him to switch in his Superior to get off Glare, but he ends up not doing that, and that really helps me a lot. So I just Psychic, predicting his switch, even though he didn't end up switching. And so I get him down to a little less than half, and he scalds me. And I get burned. Best thing that's happened in my favor all game. I got burned, so that is fantastic. Because I won't be taking damage to it, and I'm not going to be able to get paralyzed. So I go to Energy Ball, and he lives with like the tiniest bit of HP. And I'm like, what in the world? So I'm just going to Energy Ball until he finally kills me. And he just keeps stalling the crap out of me, but anyway, I guess one point he gets bored and just ends up killing me. But, I get the Energy Ball, and he recovers again. And it just goes back and forth like this for just another churn, I think. So, right here he scalds. Yeah, he scalds me right here. And I'm so glad he did that. And he did get the useless crit, as you can see from the prior turn he scalded. But I can finally kill it. So I go to Starmie, and I Thunderbolt. But he switches out. I don't know why though. He can't do anything. But I Thunderbolt, and he dies. And he goes back to Milotic, and again I Thunderbolt, and he dies. Well, anyway, alright, I want to talk to y'all about something. It's the AbsOUl Project. It's about, me and Nick were talking, just messing around talking about AbsOUl because of one of his videos. And we were talking about how it's a good Pokemon and can be used in several different sets that are effectively used and are able to sweep and other things. But I was just messing around, and I suggested we should get a bunch of people to use it on something like Pokemon Online or something else that Smogon gets for their tier usage. and just try to make that go up from the NU tier, the lowest you can go, all the way up to the OU tier. And so far I've posted it on a few groups. We made a page on Facebook. I'll probably link that in the description. But we just support us and use AbsOUl as much as possible. Keep the nickname like I had mine, so like people on PO, Pokemon Online, and other things that Smoking gets their tiers from know what you're doing and they'll possibly catch on. And, you know, that's basically the bottom line. I mean, there's not really a reason we want to do this besides just to say we did it. We determined the tiers not because of necessarily a good Pokemon that everybody uses, but because we can. But anyway, that's all. Good night.